Hey everyone, I'm going to show you in this video how to create your Google Slides presentation. This is just going to be a basic tutorial and it's going to be as quick as I can make it. I know that we've already done this in the classroom, but if you got busy working on your presentation as a group, or if you decided that you want to do some of your presentation at home, then you can always refer to this video to help you if you run across any problems. Okay, so in the previous video, I showed you how to access your Jeffco Ed Google Drive. Okay, so this is where we left off in our video. So in order for us to create our Google Slides presentation, these 9 little squares, if you click on them, you're going to come up with all these different Google applications. Okay, now we want to click on the one that says Slides. So click on that. Okay, now we want to click up here where it says Start a New Presentation. We want a blank one, so we're going to click on that. Okay, now here is our first slide of our Google Slides presentation. Remember, according to your rubric, you should have 6 slides. But before we get to that, I want to show you some things first. Up here at the top where it says Untitled Presentation, I suggest changing that to your Famous American, or you could say Famous American Research, but I think it would probably be best just to make this title the name of your Famous American. So for example, in class we made one on Helen Keller. So I'm going to put in Helen Keller's name. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to look at the first slide. According to your rubric on your first slide, you need to put the name of the Famous American, include one picture of the Famous American, and include the names of all the group members that are working on this presentation. So all you do is you just click in the box. For example, I'm going to put in Helen Keller. And then right here where it says click to add subtitle, that's where you can put in your names by Miss Farabee. Okay, if you need to move the text so that you can fit a picture on here, that is perfectly fine. You just drag it up to the top. I can drag this one down to the bottom, remember. I may have to move it like this. Now that red line that you see going through the middle of the screen shows you that your text in the box is centered, if you're wondering about that. Okay, now I have room to put a picture. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you how to add a picture. So in order to add a picture, there's a little image icon. You click on that, and I suggest going to the Search the Web. It's the second one from the top. Search the web. Okay, now you can search for any picture. We're going to search for our Famous American. This is Google Images, so I'm just going to type in Helen Keller's name. Okay, and I'm going to click on it. Alright, here's some different pictures of Helen Keller. Okay, if you scroll through, you'll see different pictures. There's a lot of great pictures to choose from. I'm going to pick this picture right here. Okay, I clicked on it and it gave it a check mark. Now I'm going to click Insert. Okay, alright, that's a little big, so I've got to stretch it from the corners, or you may end up having to stretch it from the sides. But usually I try the corners first and try to get a little smaller. I'm going to try to fit it in this area, so as you can tell, I need to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so there's how to create your first slide. Also, I want to point out, on the right of the screen, you see it says Themes. Themes are the different backgrounds that you can choose for your presentation. For example, you can just keep scrolling through these. to find what you like. I'm going to click on this one. Okay. Well, if I don't like that one, I can just click on a different one. Okay, so you can just kind of play around with this and see, like, I know this one probably wouldn't be a good one for this because right here you can barely see my name, but if you want to, you can move this around. I can drag this box around, move it up here. I can move this picture on up some. Okay, I can move this around if I need to. Okay, so you just kind of have to play with it, and you're supposed to be working on this as a group, so you need to share ideas with each other. All right, so if I want to add a new slide, I'm going to click on this plus button where it says new slide. Okay, here's my next slide. Okay, right here, I click to add my title. So for example, your second slide should say about blank's life. So the blank is where you insert your famous American's name. So I would type in about Helen Keller's life. Okay, and then over here in this text box, I'm going to start listing some things about her life. Let's see, I'm only going to list maybe one thing right now. Okay. Also, if you want to add the little bullets, you can hit the dash button and start typing in information. So maybe I want to say Helen Keller was born on June the 27th, 1880. Okay. All right. So you just keep filling in that information. Please go by the rubric. For slide 2, you have to tell the following facts about your famous American. And I will be looking for this when I grade you. So you have to have the famous American's date of birth, their birthplace, 3 or more sentences about their life, the date of their death, if they're deceased, and you must include 2 pictures of the famous American throughout her life. So, be sure that you follow all these directions, okay? Alright, if I want to add another slide again, I just click the plus button and here's my next slide. So, your third slide should be why your famous American is famous. So, why Helen Keller is a famous American. And then, of course, I'd start listing things over here. Okay, so I think you kind of can get the idea from this. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to help you with this. Also, one of the big things that I want to talk to you about is sharing this with your group members. I highly suggest you sharing this with each member in your group. So as we talked about in the classroom, you need to sign into maybe one person's Google account. Okay, one person needs to sign in and kind of start the presentation. You can, of course, do this as a group, but after you've got this started, you may want to click share. When I share with somebody, I'm going to type in their name or their email address. And once I share this with someone, they can work on it too at the same time that I'm working on it. So remember, we also talked about deciding who gets to work on each slide. So maybe Sally could work on slide 1. Maybe Joe could work on slide 2. And maybe Kim could work on slide 3. So we should have plenty of work for each member to do. It's very important that each group member take part in creating this presentation. Okay, you can even, at the end of this, you're going to share the presentation with me. So you would just type in my name and share it with me, okay? So if you need help with any of this, like I said, please do not hesitate to ask, okay? All right. if you have any questions about how to add the slides or how to change the themes, please just ask me, ask all your group members first, and then ask me, okay?